Uh, Good morning, girls. In the last session of Oracle, we started learning implicit and explicit cursor. Implicit cursor and explicit cursor means the name allocated to the area which is declared or created by an oracle. The area is known as context area, and the pointer which point to this context area is known as cursor. Implicit and explicit are the type of cursor, right? And this area, the cursor hold whatever set of rows held by this cursor is referred as an active set. You can give a name to a cursor, but the inbuilt cursor has already name defined by Oracle, that is SQL. Okay, so if you want to define your own cursor, you can give get a more control on that cursor. Implicit cursor has some attributes. They are percent found, percent is open, percent not found, and percent row count. As we had gone through two examples of implicit cursor, right? And one more example of explicit cursor. Then we had covered the difference between implicit and explicit cursor. Then we had gone through one example of explicit cursor also, and the steps to define or declare a cursor through the example, right? The steps are to declare the cursor like this: cursor see customers is, and then these keywords will be followed by associated query. As you can see, one more example: cursor C1 is select employee number ename from employee. The second step is to open the cursor. Opening the cursor allocates the memory area, actual memory area for the cursor, and make it ready for fetching the rows written by the SQL statement into it. So for opening the cursor, you have to just write the keyword open, and which will be followed by the name of cursor. Okay, the third step is fetching the cursor. This step involves accessing one row at a time. As you can see the example here, in CID, CNAME and CAddress, we want to fetch an associated value of the variables of this query, which we had declared this query at the time of declaration of cursor, right? As you can see, ID, name and address, three variables are declared here, and then associated variables are taken over here. Now in the fourth step, you have to close the cursor, which is open initially, right? That you can do with the help of close keyword. We had gone through all these four steps, and we have taken one example as well. As I have shown you in the previous example, that in this way you can declare a cursor. Then you can open a cursor like this. Then you can fetch the single row at a time. Okay, in this way. For fetching the 14 records from employee table, we have to write the fetch statement 14 times, right? This is very tedious job, as I explained you in the previous session. Today we are going to learn the solution of this problem. Okay, for that we will use a looping structure in our example. In the same example, right, we will replace all this line with a single fetching statement. that is possible with the help of looping structure. So let us begin with the example number 38. Following is a complete example to illustrate the concept of explicit cursor. Here we will cover the 4 steps: declaration, opening the cursor, fetching the value, and closing the cursor. Okay, so let us start. Declare section. Cursor C1 is select e-name, salary, job from employee. We need 3 variables to transfer the value of these 3 variables in their associated variables, right? So for that, here I have taken 3 variables, namely VENM, V salary, and V job. Begin. Then open C1. Our first step is over. In the second step, we open the cursor, and in the third step we'll start the loop. As you can see, loop begin. We have already learned this concept in previous sessions, right? Loop begin, and we will write the same lines in loop and end loop. Keywords: fetch C1 into VENM, V salary, and V job that we want to print using DBMS output line. Here what we have to do is we have to provide one condition for exiting from this loop, right? So for that I have taken exit when C1% not found. As you know about this attribute not found, this will return true if select statement will not return any row. In that case, this attribute will return true. So at that time we want to exit from this loop. So here our condition is C1% not found. As you can see, in our implicit cursor example I have taken SQL. In current example, you can replace SQL keyword with the name of your on cursor. Here we have created the cursor with name C1, so I have replaced SQL with C1. End of loop, and closing the cursor with a keyword close C1. Okay, so as you can see, the tedious job we have done in the previous example to write the fetch statement 14 times, that we can reduce using loop structure as shown in this example. Okay, so this will become very small program. Let us execute example number 38. Select the code. We need to open our SQL window. Scott and Tiger. Set server output on. Set the value of this variable on, right, and paste your code over here. As you can see, program number 38 is executed and we got the output. 14 rows are selected. You can print the number of rows using row count, right? That again we have done in our previous example. Let me show you how to print it. Before closing the cursor, you can add that line. As you know that row count is useful for counting the number of rows. Yes, here it is. Returns the number of rows affected by insert, update or delete statement, or returned by a select into statement. So here we have used select into statement. Let us use percent row count, SQL percent row count. number of rows selected. Okay, the string I want. Then instead of SQL, you can replace SQL with your on cursor name. Here C1. Let me write everything in capital letter. It doesn't make any difference, but still I am writing in capital letter. Percent row count, bracket over, and then semicolon. Execute your code one more time. Okay, your number of rows selected 14. Got it? How to use attributes with our on cursor. Okay, let us repeat the code one more time. The declaration section, cursor is declared with the name C1, and its corresponding or associated select query is select ename, salary and job from employee table, right? Corresponding variables are declared: v ename, v salary, and v job. The data type should be the same as the data type of the field of ename, salary, job of employee table, right? For that I have taken percent type. Then begin, our second section is begin. Open your cursor using open keyword, open C1. Here we will cover the fetch statement inside the loop. Loop begin, then fetch C1 into VNM, V salary and V job. Print the value of all these variables using dbms output.putLine statement. Our exit condition is exit when C1 do not found any rows returned by the select statement. Okay, so when not found attribute will return true. In that case we will come out from this loop. End of the loop. Outside the loop we want to print the number of rows selected by the select into statement. That we can do with the help of attribute row count. Now here you can use this attribute with the cursor which is declared or created in your current program. We have created C1, so I am using row count attribute with this name C1% row count. At the end, close the cursor which is opened by you over here, right, and exit from the program. Now you can run this program. Copy this content and switch back to SQL window, paste it over here, and you will get all the data on the screen. Okay, and the number of rows selected, 14 rows are selected. So this is an example of explicit cursor. Now let us see the parameters available in cursor. You can specify parameters for cursor in the same way you do for subprograms. The following example illustrates the syntax for declaring parameter of cursors. Cursor, the name of cursor is cursor employee. Here my parameter is X employee number in number is select employee number salary from employee where department number equals to 10. Here I am giving a condition, right? So you can see two new things in our current example. One is parameter and the second one is in select into statement you can find a condition, that is where department number equals to 10. The parameter mode is always in for a cursor parameter. All of you know about the parameters, right? That we can send a value with our function. Similarly here we can take a cursor parameter. The mode of this parameter is always in, but the data type can be any valid data type. As you can see here, I have taken a number data type. You can take any of the valid data type available in Oracle. You can reference the cursor parameter whose value is set when the cursor opens, only during the cursor declaration SQL query. Okay. Let us use these two new things in our next example, that are parameter and condition. Example number 39. Declare cursor C5. Name of cursor is C5. Department number, here no need to write in because by default it is in, so whether you are writing or not writing, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, so you can omit this keyword. D number, the data type of this variable is number. Our query is select star from employee where department number equals to ampersand D number. As I told you that we are using here a condition also as well as parameter. This is a parameter and here condition is where department number equals to whatever number come in this variable that we want to compare with this one. Okay. So this is about the declaration of cursor. Fine. We need two more variables for this example, namely E and D. The data type of these variables are defined with the help of row type and percent type. Begin section. Now open your cursor, open C5, and here I am passing D, right, as a parameter. Here I am passing the value of D as a parameter. Loop begin, fetch C5 into E. I want to access all the fields of table employee, so you can pass like this. C5 is a name of our cursor and E is a name of variable of type row type, right? So corresponding variables are not separately not required, right? You can jointly you can pass all the values directly into E like this. Now exit when C5% not found. In case SQL statement is not returning anything from the employee table, in that case we want to exit from this loop, right? Then dbms.output.put line, you can print the values whatever you want on the screen. End of loop, then closing the cursor C5, end of the begin section, and slash for executing this program. So let us copy this code and paste it in SQL window, right? Here it is pasted. This is asking for a value of department number. Enter the department number. For example, I am entering 10 and press enter. Okay. Cursor 5 C5 D number is select star from employee where department number equals to D number. This is replaced with this query. As you can see, select star from employee where department number equals to 10, and we got 3 records as you can see on the screen. Okay, condition is applied now and it found only 3 records with the same department number 10. Here it is. See, one thing you have to keep in your mind is no need to use ampersand sign for reading a value of D. You have to just write the name of value inside this bracket. You can see the line number 6. D is our parameter. Whatever you are passing as a parameter, the Oracle will automatically ask for the value for this parameter, right? Here you can see enter the value for D number, and we have entered 10. This will be replaced, the D number will be replaced by this new value, and here it is showing new 2 cursor C5 D number is select star from employee where department number equals to 10. This is an associated query for this cursor, okay. And as an output, the select query will fetch the record from employee table. In our case, through this query we got only 3 records which met with our criteria, okay. And these 3 lines, these 3 rows were printed with the help of this loop, line number 7 to 11. Exit from this loop, the condition is exit when C5% not found. When the execution of select query starts, it check for the records who belong to department number 10. It comes out when it do not found any record with this department number, right? And our condition is same, exit when C5% not found, and we came out. Here you can see the output, okay. So this is a parameterized cursor. This is an example of parameterized cursor, right? Even you can use nested cursor in your PLSQL code. Here you can see the example. Write a PLSQL block to display the detail of all employees that belong to the particular department stored in department table. Make use of nested cursor. The first cursor will fetch department code from the department table. The second cursor will list out the detail of employee and the total salary of that department returned by the first cursor. So let us see how we can solve this question. Declare cursor C department is select star from department where department number is less or equal to 20, order by department number. This is our normal query, select star from department where department number equals to less or equal to 20, order by department number. Let us execute this query. So you will come to know that what will be the result you will get after executing this one, 10 and 20, okay. So here 10 and 20 will come that we want in C department. Second cursor is declared with name C employee. It has one parameter, pay department, where char2 its data type is select e name salary from employee where department number equals to p department, order by e name, right? Here you can remove the order by clause to make it simple. If you found that this is be difficult for you to understand this query, so for making it simple you can remove order by clause, but here I am keeping because I want to arrange all these records in ascending order, right? C employee is a name of cursor, and here this is a parameter is select e name salary from employee where department number equals to either 10 or 20 we will get, as we have already executed this query, so we know about this, okay. Then we need 4 variables: R department, V e name, V salary, V total salary, okay. You can see the data type also. R department Here I have taken row type, so we can access all the variables with the help of this variable, right? Then VENM, the data type is same as ename field of employee table. Similarly, vSalary, this is having a data type which is same as salary field of employee table, and vTotal salary, the data type of this variable is number. Begin. Open the first cursor, C department. It has no parameter, as you can see over here. Okay, without parameter you can take a condition in select statement as per your wish, as per your requirement. Okay, now loop begin. Fetch C department into R department, as we have done in the previous example. Okay, here exit when C department, do not found any record, so here we will get 10 and 20. Externally we have already executed this query, right? These two records we will get over here through this line, through this loop. Now we want to print the department number. Here what we have done, vTotal salary equals to, we have initialized this variable with 0, and inside this cursor we open another cursor using the open statement, right? You can see before closing this C department cursor, we have opened one more cursor inside C department. Okay, open C employee, and we have passed one value as a parameter, that is R department dot department number. Whatever number come in R department or department number, that we want to pass as a parameter in this cursor. Okay, loop begin for this cursor. Fetch C employee into VNM and vSalary. We want only these two fields, and exit when C employee percent not found. When we execute the query, select ename and salary from employee where department number equals to 10. During the first iteration we will get 10, and that we want to arrange in ascending order. So here during the first iteration we will get the values for department number 10, and that we want to print over here. So we want to find the total salary. vTotal salary is 0. 0 plus vSalary means whatever the record come with the help of select statement, the salary of that particular record we want to add with the with this one, right? Whatever the value stored in this one. Now end of loop, close the cursor CMP and print the total salary for the first department. Then end of loop means outer loop, and close C department. Okay, now during the second iteration, this will fetch for the second department, that is 20. Again for department 20, open the cursor C employee and pass the value 20 over here. Loop begin. For department number 20, this will fetch for the values using fetch statement, and exit when C employee percent not found. When the select statement will not return any record for department 20, at that time the control will come out from this loop, right? And again every time we will get the salary total salary, addition of salary of all the employees who are working in department number 20. End of loop, close the loop, close the cursor C employee, and then print the total salary for this particular department. Okay, end of outer loop, and then closing the cursor. So let us execute this example. Here you can see department number 10. The employees working in department number 10 are Clark, King and Miller. Their salary respectively 2450, 5000 and 1300. We got the total of all these three, that is 8750. So we got the total salary for department number 10. Now it is turn to print department number 20. Department number 20, there are 5 persons working in this department. The total of the all this column is 11375. So in this way you can use nested cursor, right? This is all about implicit and explicit cursor. In our next session we will cover the topic exception handling in PLSQL. That's it. This is enough for today. Thank you.